Hello everyone, my name is Mses Robinsar, and I'm here making this video to present my presentation about online learning in many countries and college life during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is the countries that we will listed in this presentation. 1 is Indonesia, 2 is Japan, 3 is China, 4 is South Korea, and 5 is Hong Kong. First, I'm going to discuss about Indonesia. The online learning tools used mostly by students in Indonesia. Teacher participants in this study may have only reached the substitution level in their terms of their technology use in education, as they use various technology tools to replace their classroom sessions. Transformation of technology-based learning media through WhatsApp groups, Zoom, Google Classroom, WebEx, YouTube, and television channels or TVRE, new learning evaluation patterns, and the use of parents as a substitute for teachers to control children's learning at home. The positive and the negative impacts of online learning for students. The positive side is this will aid in their understanding of the lesson and encourage them to develop better values in the future. If a student needed to revise any materials, they can just rewatch the class conference recording. The negative side, many parties experience negative consequences as a result of the policy implementation. Teachers struggle to find the right platform for distance learning activities, and students believe distance learning is a burden that leads to psychological illness. The barrier experienced by the students toward the online learning method. The lack of internet connection and the inability to freely communicate with students due to Google Classroom lack of real-time interaction are the two main barriers to learning English using Google Classroom or online. A quote, I believe one is the internet connection because Google Classroom requires a good connection. Respondent 2. Second, Google Classroom only provides non-interactive postings. Third, I believe YouTube effectively distracts me. I've been using Google Classroom for more than 2 semesters. Respondent 3 says, I dispensed my internet connection in both semesters. Respondent 4 said, because my cell phone is outdated, Google Classroom is not easily accessible. Despite the fact that my Wi-Fi is fine, the device is one of the most important factors. Those are the quotes that is said by many respondents regarding the barriers they experience. The barriers experienced by the teachers towards the online learning method. To determine the teachers' barriers to conducting online learning, an observation and questionnaire were used. In virtual learning, the barriers were related to technology course, content, students, and support system. The questions on the questionnaire were all open-ended. This type of question was chosen because it allows for elaboration of the participants' responses as a foundation for designing interview questions. The teacher encountered two obstacles while delivering the material. First, there was the issue of the material comparability. At this point, they needed to ensure that material they delivered to students in online learning was the same high quality as the material they delivered in traditional classes. Parents' attitudes and perspective of online learning. Almost all parents are concerned about the COVID-19's negative impact on their children's education. It concerns students' academic achievement, knowledge acquisition, and a number of difficult to acquire skills or competences. The current challenge is to develop distance learning competences and objectives that are comparable to, if not better than face-to-face learning. This crisis will almost certainly have long-term implications for education, including curriculum and learning. As a result, this crisis should be used to rethink learners' curriculum, teaching learning process assessment, and competency development in order to improve their learning skills and keep them motivated. Next, we will discuss about Japan's. The online learning tools used by students in Japan. Many educational institutions around the world have closed their face-to-face classes and switched to online courses as a result of the COVID-19. Japanese schools have responded differently to the current crisis. In times of crisis, online education has been widely promoted as a viable alternative to traditional classroom instruction. While emergency remote teaching is an important solution that may not provide students with the same level of instruction as a well-designed online course, it is more practical option than canceling classes. Positive and negative impacts of online learning for the students. The effects of the shift to online instruction have not yet been thoroughly studied, and it is unclear where Earth stands in terms of learning outcomes and student satisfaction. However, it is expected that the quality may be lower than face-to-face instruction due to lack of preparation and experience. To meet the quality standards promised to their students, universities should consider adopting more robust, long-term disaster preparedness solutions. The barriers experienced by students towards online method. The COVID-19 crisis may have particularly negative impacts on students from socioeconomically disadvantaged backgrounds who lack access to this device, resulting in increased learning inequalities. In Japan, only 61% of students said they had access to a computer for schoolwork, which is lower than OECD average, which is 89%. 40% students in the bottom quartile of the socio-economic distribution report having access to computer for schoolwork, which is lower than the OECD average of 78%. Furthermore, access to the home computer have deteriorated as a result of the crisis in cases where it had to be shared with other family members. Parents' attitudes and perspectives of online learning. To provide contextualized and relevant quality education, the relationship between schools and parents is critical. The importance of open and fluid communication between school staff and parents has never been greater. During the most recent full calendar week in Japan, teachers reported spending an average of 1.2 hours on communication and cooperation with parents or guardians. Next, we will be talking about China. The online learning tools used mostly by students in China. While online learning can help prevent the spread of infectious disease, it can also help elementary school students learn. The Chinese government postponed the opening of schools after Spring Festival to prevent further infection due to widespread SARS-CoV-2 infection. As a result, China has made strenuous efforts to implement online education. Positive and negative impacts of online learning for students. According to one study, online education has a lot of potential for improving educational accessibility and efficiency. The COVID-19 pandemic has provided an opportunity to expand the use of digital learning in learning schools where students are required to stay at home. However, despite all the positive effects of the online learning, there are also some drawbacks. According to some studies, learners gain slightly less knowledge in online settings. Another issue is that students may become addicted to their computers and televisions as a result of taking long online courses. Furthermore, Prolonged use of computers, cell phones, or televisions in elementary school can result in vision loss. The better experience by the students toward the online learning method. Some students find it difficult to concentrate while learning online, which reduces their productivity. The main challenges they face while learning online were staying motivated, sticking to schedules, and studying on a regular basis. During their online classes, students also receive information passively and lack active communication. Furthermore, certain questions were frequently misunderstood by the students. As a result, students' interest in online classes may wane over time. The most important factor affecting Chinese primary school students' satisfaction with online courses may be a lack of interactivity. According to a survey, 17.6% of students are suspected of having emotional issues while online homeschooling. The better experience by the teachers online towards the online learning method. The lack of interaction during online learning was the most frequently reported issue. According to a survey, because online classes are pre-recorded, there were few opportunities for students and teachers to interact in real time. Parents' attitude and perspectives of online learning. Some parents of elementary school students believe that the number of online courses available was inefficient. Parents of students in lower grades are under more stress than parents of students in higher grades. Lower grade parents are frequently concerned about their children's online lessons. Some parents have expressed their desire for their children to return to face-to-face learning in the future. Parents reported that online classes made good use of their time and networks, allowing classes to continue during the COVID-19 pandemic. In terms of deficiency, parents faced the six major issues listed below. First and foremost, there is dissatisfaction with the lack of timely interaction in online classes. Second, be concerned about students not comprehending the material. The third factor is the increased burden of burdensome adult responsibilities. Next, we will talk about South Korea. The online learning tool is used mostly by students. South Korea is no exception when it comes to social media usage. South Korea has drawn international attention for its advances in the field of information and communication technologies. Some educational and scientific policies to expand the enhance the use of ICTs in education and research were implemented by 2005. Despite this, South Korea was able to establish itself as one of the leading countries in the use of social media, ubiquitous learning, and mobile learning via mobile device in 2010. The positive and negative impacts of online learning for the students. Despite the personal and technological challenges posed by the COVID-19 outbreak and the subsequent implementation of online learning, students in the study expressed optimism about their ability to learn. Their technology proficiency and their ability to achieve their educational goals. Emotions have been shown to influence learning, and educators, understanding of students in their personal and social capacities, provide support beyond the scope of learning content. According to the research, in the context of South Korea, it's worth noting that prior to the COVID-19 outbreak, students and educators may have frequently communicated through technological tools, making the abrupt shift to digital communication between educator and student less daunting for both parties. The better experience when students toward online learning method. Based on our study, the main barriers of online education according to students' responses, M 13.1 as the 4.3 were living close to educational institution. Neutral, 1998.82.5%. Lack of technological experience, which is neutral, 909.75.1%. And lack of past experiences of using online tools. Neutral as the amount of 499 or 74.3%. These students agree that major barriers of using technology, lack of motivation. Neutral as consists of 994 people or 57.4%, and inability to networking with experts in the field. Neutral has a total of 759 or 62.7%. The barrier experienced by the teachers towards the online learning method. Current thinking and theory support the notion of situating teachers' learning in classroom practice by emphasizing contextual-based and social-constructivist understandings of teacher professional development that focus on the social nature of practice and knowledge construction. Parents' attitudes and perspective of online learning. Parents' reaction vary whether children are forced to learn at home due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Although some parents get to accept these additional responsibilities and recognize the importance of their role in helping children learn at home, others have difficult accompanying children to learn due to a lack of online device or difficulties in controlling the child's behavior in the classroom. Some parents are stuck as to how to explain the material to their children. As a result of this research, a description of the children's learning assistance provided by parents will be provided. Now, last, we are going to discuss about Hong Kong. The online learning tools used mostly by students. Many open access tools are available to help with this endeavor, and many universities and colleges are already using them to reach out to students in remote areas. Many departments at Gauhati Effort University in Assam, for example, have been using variety of online tools, including live online classes via Skype, YouTube with recorded academic and class lectures, ready-made lectures via NPTEL, lectures via Google Classroom, and live online classes via Plaza, Zero, Zoom, and Easy Class. The positive and negative impacts of online learning for students. The majority of responses agree that online classes have helped students maintain their mental and emotional health when the playground and classes where they belong are closed. The teachers and students alike enjoy the classes, and parents are relieved that their children are occupied. As a result of the sudden change in circumstances and necessity, students and faculty have moved to online mode. But excessive use of anything, including technology, is harmful. According to a survey, many students and teachers believe that online classes will lead to many diseases and health issues in the long run due to increased screen time. Body pain from poor posture, and even short memory due to constant access to information at the click of a button. The barriers experienced by the students toward the online learning method. Students come from a variety of socioeconomic backgrounds, and they had difficulty getting laptops or mobile phones, as well as connectivity issues. Lack of socialization, technology issues, and vision problems, to name a few. When the classes continued, 79% of the students lost interest in online classes due to internet connectivity issues. The barrier experienced by the teachers towards the online learning method. It was difficult to keep students away from other social networking sites during online classes, while converting teaching materials into digital format on short notice. The challenges that university teachers face when it comes to online teaching and assessment in a home environment, they have defined barriers into four categories. One, barriers in the home environment, such as, of, such as a lack of basic facilities, family disruption while teaching, and conducting an assessment. Two, institutional support barriers, such as a lack of training, a lack of clarity and direction, and an insufficient budget for purchasing advanced technologies. Technical, technical difficulties faced by teachers, such as a lack of technical infrastructure, a lack of awareness of online teaching platforms, and security concerns. Four, a personal issue with the teachers' barriers to online learning and assessment include the negative attitudes, low motivation for teaching, and a lack of technological knowledge. Parents' attitude and perspective of online learning. During the COVID-19 pandemic, a cross-sectional study of school children found that the majority of parents were aware of the infection and explained it to their children. In the midst of the pandemic, they were relieved that their children were safe at home and learning online. However, when it comes to the children's home learning patterns, parents are filled with fear and anxiety, as well as increased worry and apprehension. As a result of the school closures during lockdown, most parents notice that their children are socializing less and that their physical activities have decreased. That concludes my presentation. Thank you all for watching.